What's going on, guys? Today we're doing a review of these awesome headphones. They're the Koss PortaPro. So, if you're familiar with my channel, you remember I reviewed the KSC 75s from Koss. Well, here is their big brother, the PortaPro. I originally released sometime in the 80s, and these float my boat. They definitely float my boat. Why do they float my boat? Because they have good bass, they have good treble, they just are a fun sounding headphone. But they only cost $40. So where are these competing? These are competing with, geez, like Kmart, if you're familiar with Kmart. Walmart, everyone's familiar with Walmart headphones. They don't sound like Walmart headphones. And there's nothing against Walmart. I mean, you get some good deals there, but if you catch these somewhere like that, these are more than just a deal. So let's start with the type of headphones these are. Obviously, they're a portable headphone, but the trade-off, or not a trade-off, but the catch, is that these are an open back headphone. So they're going to let some sound out, and they're going to let sound in. So sound leak is definitely a problem on these. But the positive side of that is if you are out somewhere and you need to be aware of your surroundings, say you work more of like a team-based project, but you want to listen to some music, you're going to be able to communicate with the people around you. And that's kind of like a positive on my note. So they are a fun headphone, like I said. They're a portable headphone that do leak sound. The cord is also set up for portability. It's about a meter long, 3 feet, 3.5 feet, 4 feet, something like that. And the cord is kind of like your standard earbud cord, so it's not like the best thing in the world, but you know, it does the job. And it's got that awesome, like I said on the KSC 75, that awesome 45-degree plug. So we will focus here. Okay, it's not focusing. So you can plug that into a phone, no problem. Easy to drive. Their impedance is relatively low. The sensitivity is high, so these do benefit from an amp. Of course, they clean up the sound a little bit, and if you needed to go louder, they could, but that would be ear-piercingly loud, so it's not necessary. Something like the KSC 75 I used with the Sound Blaster E1, so you could do the same things with these. Sound Blaster E1, FIO E6, little things will be fine for this. I'm personally more of a fan of the Sound Blaster. Comfort-wise, let's get to comfort. We'll do build first. So build, right off the bat, you have a steel headband. So that's going to be probably the strongest part of this headphone. The rest of the construction is plastic. You have this comfort zone adjustment, which I'll get to in comfort. Here you have plastic, and then it swivels, and there's like this little thin piece of metal just right inside there, those silver parts. And then you have these plastic parts, and let's just go straight to comfort now. So you got these plastic parts on top. Look how small these headphones get. They could fit on like a baby's head or something. And then when you go to put them on, you push these up just like this, and they get larger. And then when you want to go to put them on, you can put them on. So I kind of like do a push it up like that and then stretch it out quickly, and they fit awesome for me. I have a lot of hair on my head. If you don't have a lot of hair on your head, I think those little plastic adjustments would be uncomfortable. But if you have them on this firm setting, so they have 3 settings. They have a firm setting. Oh my gosh. So they have a firm setting, they have a middle zone, and they have a light. And I didn't like the light because what it does is when you adjust them, and let's say we have focus, we have this here. When you adjust it out to the other setting, the light setting, it like bends this outward, and you could see how it's got this outward bent angle, which puts all the pressure on these pads. So I like to keep it on firm, and don't get it wrong, it's basically the same clamp to me. It just puts more pressure on the ears than anything. And when I was saying earlier that someone with less hair might have a problem with these things, if you have it on the firm setting and you make them just a tad too big, they have enough clamp that it won't touch your head. It'll just put pressure on your ears and slightly on your temples. And you could do that. And even though these do have a firm clamp, they don't. They really don't. They're so light, they don't need to be that firm to actually hold themselves in place. And these pads are the same as the KSC 75s I reviewed. So these pads are like 1/8 of an inch thick, but because they're so light, they do the job. They're just fine. If you get irritated by this sort of material, it's going to be a problem. But I'm not irritated at all, and it's not coarse. It's still smooth, so it does fine. And the temples are made of like a slightly more firm material that's just like the ear cups, but they're just a little more firm. So that was the comfort is good. I wear glasses, and the neat thing about these is when I put them on, my glasses fit right in between the spot where the temple rest is and the ear cup rest is. So it doesn't push on my glasses. I think the first thing that becomes uncomfortable on these after a while is the ear cups, because they are kind of thin. But for a $40 to $30, you can get these between $30 and $40 on Amazon, like all the time. So for that much money and the sound you're getting, it's not that big of a deal. And when I say like I wear these like in an office for a while, like 3-4 hours is when they start to get uncomfortable. And it's not even a major uncomfortable. They're like perfect all the time, and then they just start to wear a little bit. It's not like a pain that you would get with some headphones that clamp too much, like some Sennheiser series and V-Moda series headphones that have quite a bit of clamp, and they push down on things like glasses and stuff like that. So comfort, yes. Quality, I heard some people complain on different reviews that this cord can become unplugged. Just cut the KSC 75s the same way. I haven't had that issue, and like I said, I don't dangle these by the cord. So that's not an issue. I think quality is quite good. They also fold up for portability, like that, and you can actually hook them as well. They have to extend a little bit to do that, and they become this little ball, and then they fit in the side of like a leatherette case. So that's another, I guess, perk to portability, and the quality can withstand that folding. Sound. Everyone wants to hear sound. Let's go sound. So quality, yes. Drivability, yes. Comfort, yes. For some people, quality might be middle of the line, because if you get a pair that has that cord problem, but like I said in the last review of the KSC 75s, these do have that lifetime warranty where you can send them in and get them fixed. So sound. The frequency response on these, it is a V-shaped sound. So with the KSC 75s, they were a little bit of a brighter headphone with very controlled bass, and you can hear the mids quite well. So it was neutral with maybe a 1 or 2 decibel bass hump. These have like a 3 decibel bass hump, or bass bump, not hump. And then the mids are slightly lower and recessed, so vocals aren't as prevalent as some other headphones, but the vocals are still there and sound good. And then the highs are are spiked back up a little bit, and then they roll off quite quickly up in the high treble where you hear like some higher pitched cymbals and things like that on rock music. So, yes, these have a V-shaped sound, but it sounds good and fun. And if you have a little amp for them, it cleans that bass up, and they sound wonderful. I mean, I'm comparing these to things like V-Moda M100s and um, V-Moda M100s, way better than Beats Solo HDs. Um, I think as good or better than the Solo 2s. Um, Philips makes a Fidelio F1. These are better. These are clearer than the F1 for sure. Um, so soundstage. The soundstage on these, since they're an open headphone, like I said earlier, the soundstage is good. Um, the positioning is good. This I guess it's good. It's just good. It's not phenomenal, and for the price, it's not going to be. The separation isn't as good as some open back V-shaped headphones that go for like $200-300. So definitely not as good as like an X2 or a Philips Fidelio X2 or a HD 650 from Sennheiser. Not like that separation good, but I mean it's on the lines of like an SHP 9500. Because the soundstage on those is good, but it's not huge. Huge would be like Audio Technica AD 700Xs, and huge would be the AKG 712s or 7XXs or 701s. You know how that family. So yeah, the soundstage is good. You're gonna be able to game in these first person shooters. I've done it, and I've used my Blue Yeti and on the Xbox, and it was good. It got the job done, and they were more fun than competitive. Because competitive, you want like footsteps, and you need the higher treble and a huge soundstage and excellent positioning. But it was good enough for your recreational gamer who still wants to be good and have some fun with those loud explosions from the bass. Um, so fun headphone, light, comfortable, portable, safe if you need to be able to hear your surroundings. Um, that's a little bit of a summary. The cord, the build, $30-40. You're not going to go wrong. This could be a perfect entry level headphone, or if you just had so many headphones that you want to try something new, these will definitely be for you. Um, that is all I have to say. I'm your headphone guy, and I hope to remain your headphone guy. That was cheesy. The gun pointing. What is that? No, I'm not going to do that anymore. But excellent headphones. Pick them up. Description below. I'm going to be getting my website up and running in the next month, so that will be in the link in the description below. Though it's not done, it will be. There will be a link for it in the description below. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.